Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center here at the University of New Haven. I'm Mike McGuire and this is Pitch Perfect. Welcome to Pitch Perfect's second season. This season we have a great new director, a new crew, new editors, a new social media team, and a new assistant producer. And remember, Pitch Perfect is 100% student run. We're looking forward to a very exciting season 2 and welcome our newest sponsor, the Entrepreneurship Foundation. And also new this season is a $500 cash prize for the winner of our pitch off at the end of the season. So as we know, Pitch Perfect is the place for you to pitch your new business idea, get feedback, and feel what it's like to be on the spot. At Pitch Perfect, we invite students from all over Connecticut to stand on the spot, pitch their business ideas to a panel of expert judges, each one an entrepreneur and expert in their own right. And after each pitch, the judges will decide if you and your pitch have what it takes to make it through to the next round. If you do, we'll help you refine and sharpen your pitch before returning to the spot to pitch again. And if the judges agree, you'll have a chance to compete in our pitch-off at the end of the season, battling it out to become Pitch Perfect's Student Entrepreneur of the Year. Today, we have 2 contestants. One will move on to the next round, and one will not. Now, let's meet our panel of judges. First on my left is Phil Viscomi. Phil is the managing partner of Business Growth Advisors and a serial entrepreneur and a member of the faculty here at the University of New Haven. Welcome, Phil. Next in the center spot is Dr. Candace Deal. Dr. Deal is an associate professor of accounting at Eastern Connecticut State University, and she's a recurring judge here on Pitch Perfect. Welcome back, Dr. Deal. And finally, to my right is Mike Votto. Mike is the CEO of Votto Vines, a family-run wine importing and distribution company that he co-founded in 2009. Mike is an attorney turned entrepreneur and an advisor to numerous startups. Welcome, Mike, to the show. Okay, our panel's in place. It's time to meet our first contestant.
Hi, I'm Gowtham Akash Jaikumar. I'm currently doing my first year in Cell and Molecular Biology department in the University of New Haven. My idea is to target food and water crisis that's happening in the world right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gowtham to Pitch Perfect with his idea called Patro Wars. Gowtham, you're on the spot. You've got 2 minutes. Go.
Hey judges, you would have all been in a situation where a teenager or young adult would have sweared out loud just because he lost a game. That's because there are about 2.5 billion gamers worldwide, and the gaming industry makes about $108 million every year. So some games are termed pay to win, where players have to shell out some money in order to progress further in the games. I wondered why not create a game model called donate to win, where players have to donate money or resources in order to progress further in the levels. So I came up with Patro Wars. Patro Wars works like this. In order to progress further, players have to join a clan or form a new one. And they have to collect resources such as food, water and armor, and they have to do this. And they have to battle against other clans and win and share the spoils of the war. Sounds like an average game, right? But it's not. In order to get resources in-game, they have to donate those resources in real life. So basically what happens is, you approach a resource center that we set up for the game, you donate a bottle of water, and the store manager gives you 1,000 resource points in-game. So when you donate a water bottle, you get 1,000 water points inside the game. With these points, you can build your own clan, and you can make your clan stronger and win wars. So this works same way for food. When you want food in-game, you have to donate vegetables and fruits, and when you want armor in-game, you have to donate clothes. So what do we do with these water, clothes and food that we receive? Water will be donated to all those NGOs which strive for providing clean water to those in need. Clothing will be stored and used when natural calamities happen, and food will be distributed to the local shelters on the same day. So how do players donate the food? There are three options to do that. First, they can come to the resource centers that are present, and they can donate their food, water, or clothing. The second way is to ask for a pickup. And the third way works generally in all the games. Make an online payment and ask for a specific resource they want, and they can just get it on game. But the difference between the three methods is that the first method gives you more resources, so it encourages players to go out and donate the resources more. The second method gives you a little bit lesser, and the third gives you a little bit lesser. So with Petrovos, it's win-win for both the world and the players. Thank you.
Well, Gowtham, well done. That was great. So I have a question. Are you a gamer? How did you come up with this?
Yeah, I've been gaming from the age of 10 maybe.
Really?
So, yeah, that's why the glasses.
So, and so now you've got some inside knowledge about how that works. Fascinating idea. So let's get some feedback from our judges. Phil, what do you think?
Mike, thank you. Gowtham, I think you did an excellent job articulating the value proposition to both sides of the equation, to the customer, to the gamer, and to the people receiving the benefits of what the gamers pay in. Very interesting. But one thing I don't understand is, how does the company make money? What is the business proposition for your company?
Okay. The company makes money by advertisement through the games. So an ad just pops up while you're playing. You make them watch for 10 seconds. That is normally going on in all the games right now. The other method, the main revenue, is when the gamers walk into your store, they can just look out. There are consignment merchandise available everywhere. So when you walk inside a store, you might feel hungry from a long walk. So you just grab or the player might just grab some candies or something, and that makes money for the store. And you can also make contracts with a lot of companies who want to market their products there. So since it's a gaming oriented one, gaming companies can have their games on display in our company or in our market also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Dr. Deal.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I'm not a gamer, but I'm learning more about it. I kind of wish I was now. Question for you. The resource centers that you talked about earlier in terms of, I guess, how gamers can get tokens, if you may, are the resource centers going to be operated by your company?
Yeah, we would be employing employees to take care of the store. Mm-hmm. So they would be exchanging the resource and giving them in-game resource to them.
Okay, so since one of the delivery options would be that a gamer can actually drive to a resource center, how, what's the geographic strategy for that?
So we wanted to have a resource center every 5 mile radius, so we can actually start picking up where player base is more, in which area player base is more, and we can actually concentrate more resource centers around the place to make it more efficient for them and easier for them to just come out and donate resources. Gamers, they're a little bit, they tend to be inside their house, so this option will allow them to just go out, get some fresh air. Yeah. Me being a gamer, yeah, I know the truth behind that. So we just want to go out sometime, for the gaming purpose. We would go out and donate some resources and come back. That we would do for sure.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a great pitch. Again, I think totally get it. I have a 10-year-old son myself, so I know more about gaming than I ever did actually when I was a kid. But just picking up on the theme from earlier is, have you thought about the practicality of actually setting up the resource centers, and maybe have you considered trying to partner with an organization that may be set up to provide this function and then allow you to focus more on the game experience and some of the other aspects of the app?
Right now I have not thought too much about that, but I just wanted to get some gaming design people and start working out the game. And first step is that, and then I can just have some contracts with some NGOs who are willing to join us. And then I thought of setting up where the locations are good, and then I can start focusing on the business side of it first. So first I need the game, and at the last I need the business.
No, I think that's absolutely the right approach, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times the execution and the distribution takes a long time to build, can be very expensive. And to your point, how do you plug into an existing, whether it's a nonprofit or that's something that's already in place? Because you're certainly adding value to their mission and what they're doing, so you might take advantage of that. Well, that's great. Great questions and great presentation. And we're going to see you a little bit later, and as we get ready to introduce our next contestant.
Good job.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Mike.
Hi, I'm Joan Maloney. I go to University of New Haven. I'm a junior, and our goal is to get a more variety of food to college campus students.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joan Maloney to Pitch Perfect with her idea called FUBU. Joan, you're on the spot. You've got 2 minutes. Go.
Hi guys, we are FUBU. If you've ever been a broke college student living on campus, you know how hard it is to get variety and good, healthy food on campus. It has gotten better, but it's not to where it should be. So our problem is currently food on campus, both the price and the variety. And our solution is we found we have a $2.9 billion market for a on-campus delivery for both restaurants and groceries. And we plan to do this by hiring students to drive for the deliveries because they have on-campus cards, so they no longer have to deal with security issues and things like that that we found in our focus groups to be a problem. So our competitors are Uber Eats, Instacart, and Groupon, stuff like that that deliver, but neither of them hone in on both markets for both the groceries and delivery of restaurant food. We also plan to integrate the university's meal plans into our payment process, as well as our profits are going to be both sponsorships, food delivery service, the food delivery charge, which is both going to be a subscription base and a flat rate fee. And we plan to donate 30% of our profits back to homeless shelters and children that currently are struggling for food.
Well, thank you, Joan. That was great. Great presentation. You know, it's interesting, both of our pitches here had a philanthropic, make the world a better place angle to them, and that certainly is part of what your pitch is. So, Phil, let's give Joan some feedback.
Joan, very good job thinking through competition, market size, and a number of other factors. Oftentimes we don't hear that early on in the development of a new company. But I have 2 questions. The first question is, are you manufacturing products yourself? And the second question is what's your exit strategy?
Okay, so part of that is we've had focus groups, as well as we went out and met with partners such as Whole Foods, and we actually met with a couple restaurants. One of the restaurants actually wants to sign with us already, has contacted me a couple times. And our exit strategy would be the fact that we can sell to one of our competitors or co-merge our program with them. And we also developed a branding idea as well. His name's FUBU.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you.
Dr. Deal.
Okay, great presentation. I was glad to hear that you're actually looking out for, students on campus and trying to find more sustainable ideas for them and making it comfortable for them while they're on campus. So correct me if I'm wrong, your company is basically a delivery food service, and the second part of that question is, are the students allowed to choose from any restaurants, or are you only going to partner with a list with just a few restaurants?
So with that, we're planning on partnering with restaurants to also allow our students to have a discount, as well as we're going to get commissions from the partners that we have. They can order from any restaurant, but one of our big things that our competitors don't offer is groceries, and that's a lot of struggle for students that live on campus. And so when we did our focus group and we did our survey, we found that a lot of students are really interested in the groceries aspect, getting deliveries once a week, which is why we found that if we offer both a $5 flat rate delivery charge and as well as subscription based. That way the students can have best of both worlds. But we do plan on offering a very vast variety of foods. It's just certain ones will have discounts.
Okay, good. And just one suggestion, one thing you probably want to consider is, I'm assuming you want to pilot this right here at the University of New Haven. You may want to factor in, I think Sodexo provides food services here on campus, and they would actually be a competitor for you, and there actually may be some restrictions on that end as well. So you may want to speak with Sodexo and find out, how they would feel about that, because they would actually be, a competitor. I guess you would be a competitor for them. So.
Great. Thank you, Doctor. Mike.
Joan, very nice presentation. I remember very well being a starving college and graduate student. My question for you is, have you thought much about the technology piece, and how do you envision it? I'm assuming this is going to be largely a mobile concept, and have you really gotten into the technology behind building the app and working both sides of the equation in terms of growing the user base as well as growing the kind of restaurant and grocery provider side of the equation?
So for the app, it will cost about $8,000 to develop, as well as we're a big on-the-ground team, so our focus is a mobile app. However, the introduction for it is going out to our marketing and to our partners and stuff and finding those deals and working with the people, because I find a problem with just having an app base is you're not talking to the person to their face, and it becomes impersonal. So if we go out, like with our Whole Foods, we went out and talked to the actual manager and reached out to Texas, the distributors, and found that a lot of college towns would love this service. They offer currently Amazon Prime because they own that, but they can't have the benefit of having students deliver it on campus, because one of the things we found was that students were frustrated and don't use Uber or Amazon Prime because of the fact that they can't get on campus or they get lost, and then their food's cold, and groceries, they won't deliver hot or cold groceries to the dorms. So it's really a struggle for students to actually get their groceries.
No, I like that angle a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Who'd have thought you'd actually have humans talking to each other instead of using it? That's novel. That's really novel. Anyway, that's great presentation. The judges now have a real challenge here. And would you join Gowtham off stage, and we'll get to the judge's decision. Well, judges, I don't envy you. It's a tough spot to be in. I think they're two very interesting ideas. Both of them have a give back angle to them, and so good luck, and let the deliberation begin.
All right, so two great presentations.
Very good.
Now
Yeah,
the hard
well thought
part.
out.
Yes. So let's talk about Patro
Okay.
Wars first.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, great gaming is obviously a crowded space, very difficult to differentiate your app and get downloads. But I think the idea of, again, as Mike put it, the give back angle, I think is going to resonate with a lot of gamers. So I like that aspect of it.
Okay.
I felt too it was a good value proposition from the gamer's perspective and benevolency.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a strong feeling for the business model.
Yeah.
I had concern over the amount of money that would be required, and also the number of gaming sites that were going to be deployed. I'm not sure if that's economically feasible. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. My major concern was the distribution portion of it, in terms of opening up geographically all of these, I guess, brick and mortar resource centers that, gamers can drop off, some charitable donation to and get tokens. That can be pretty expensive. So I didn't agree too much with the business model.
Yeah, and I'll say it even stronger. I just don't think that's feasible at all. But I do think there are alternatives, and I still like the big picture concept. There's a lot to figure out there.
Yeah.
But and I completely agree with you. The idea of these dedicated resource centers that are owned or controlled by the app, I think is not practical.
Right.
So conceptually, it seems as if it's something that could be viable, but the idea needs to develop, a little more work on the numbers,
Yep.
logistics, how it comes together. And it sounded like there was an app baked into this
Yeah.
also?
Well, I mean, I think the core business is essentially a gaming app.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, that's
not
it.
a new one, not an existing one.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I think that really is the business, is a new gaming app. So again, even getting traffic and pulling downloads is, I mean, we're not even really getting into that side of it. But even assuming that you could develop an app that people are excited about and want to download, I think we've identified a number of hurdles.
Okay. So potentially that in itself could be scalable
Yeah.
through traditional channels. Great, that's pretty good.
But then during the presentation, I didn't get an idea of the game that he was creating. You know, I wish he had spent more time on talking about the actual game itself, because I was under the impression that perhaps he was going to collaborate, partner with already existing games in the market and just add in, you know, the charitable part to it. So it was kind of beyond me that he was creating a whole new game. So I really wish, if that's the case, that he had, you know, elaborated on that more during the presentation.
I'm with you. That's exactly what I felt also. But you got it.
I got it.
Did
but
you get
like
that part
I
of
said,
it?
I think it's because I have.
Because you're a gamer at heart. You
I'm
know
not a
that.
gamer at heart, but I have a 10-year-old son, so maybe I have an advantage.
There you go.
Perhaps you do.
Okay, well, what about Joan?
Joan, I think, again, my initial reaction was very, very difficult space in terms of creating a new app where you're competing against big mega companies with big mega dollars, like an Uber, like an Amazon, and many others, to get people's attention and to get downloads on a new app, which has similar functionality to some of the, again, well-known apps, I think is a challenge. But I like the college campus strategy and the local strategy. So again, from a big picture standpoint, I like it. I think there are a number of hurdles.
Okay.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that.
Okay.
The viral implications of an app in a student community, in a closed community like a university,
Yeah.
I think that could just grow exponentially really quick. The other thing I saw with her was she really thought through market competition and had gone through a pragmatic process of thinking through her business, had an exit strategy, which I thought was very interesting. Downside, how wonderful it would be to put 30% of profits to contribute them. However, she has a distribution model, and distribution models work on tenths of percentage points in their economic model. So while she was as mature as she was, I think there's a little bit more numbers to
I
be
agree.
crunched.
I also don't think you want to lead as you're out fundraising and trying to get outside capital in that 30% of profits are going to be given back.
I thought that the
think-
30% was a bit high to start off with.
Exactly.
You know, so one of the things, one of her advantages, I can also see being a disadvantage as well. And you mentioned something already, Phil. You know, an advantage for Joan would be the fact that her business idea is within a closed campus environment, and so she already has a competitive edge. The disadvantage to that is that it's so campus specific, and I didn't hear her, you know, talk about the prospect of maybe franchising or selling this
Yeah,
idea to other universities elsewhere. So again, an advantage in that it's, you know, closed specifically for the University of New Haven, but the disadvantage is, you know, how are you going to venture
scale
out there? How are you going to scale? Right.
You'd have to then obviously make a presence on other campuses and try to
Right.
replicate the model.
Okay.
Candace, I absolutely agree with that. You're spot on.
All right. Well, I think we have a decision. You guys ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have a decision.
Well, welcome back, Joan. Welcome back, Gowtham. This is the big moment. You know, I observed the deliberations, and this was tough. This was tough. You know, both your ideas were excellent, but only one of you gets to move forward to the next round. So I'm turning it over to the judges. Phil, let us know who's going to be moving on.
Mike, thank you. I fully agree with Mike. Both of you had some very good points in your presentations. Very interesting ideas. Both of you are going to contribute profits to benevolence organizations. I think that's wonderful. Where we began to see a difference was in the differences were twofold. One was the idea seemed to be able of generating more profits, more revenues, a greater business. And the other idea was more fully baked. So our decision was very difficult. In terms of what you have, Gowtham, we weren't totally clear with the app that you were going to develop, the game you were going to develop. And we talked about, wonder what that game does. And perhaps in a future conversation, it might be an improvement to your presentation to describe the app a little bit farther. And we weren't sure if it was your app or multiple apps. So that's one area where perhaps you can tweak that up a bit. We also had some concerns about how you were going to scale the business. But potentially, you have a business that could generate significant revenues and profits and scale widely. In terms of your business, Joan, we found it very interesting. It was intriguing that you thought through markets, competitive, talked about an exit strategy. There's a saying that the beginning justifies the ends. And you have that, you've been thinking that way, which is the best way to start a business. How are you going to return value to your stakeholders? So that was tremendous. So in terms of going forward, we think Joan has a more viable business. It might be more challenging to scale Joan's business, and we're not sure about that. That's one of the questions we have. We might have some ideas for you on that also. But in terms of going forward, it'll be Joan with her idea. Thank you. Anybody else have any comments? I'm not sure, I didn't.
No, I think you both did a great job. And Gowtham, I just want to say to you, I think you should definitely keep your head up. I like your idea a lot, and I think with some tweaks, it could be a really an investable and exciting business for angel investors and venture capitalists too.
Great. Well, great job. Keep on pitching. Don't give up. And Joan, you'll be moving on to the next round. Congratulations to you and FUBU. Well, that's it from the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center here at the University of New Haven. Thank you for joining us today on Pitch Perfect, and make sure to tune in for our next episode. And remember, to make it yours, make it real, and keep on pitching.